There's two women who inspire me to want to offer this workshop. Over the last 3 months, I've had two conversations that really impacted me and make me reflect on how important it is for us to have this conversation about body image and treat it for what it is, an anxiety. One of them was my best friend who decided to come for a week with me to my parents' cottage. And she was talking about how she would love to go to this concert, but she wouldn't, because what if she runs into somebody, and what if that somebody can tell that she's gained weight? No way. So she wouldn't want to do that. She literally dressed up from here to down there to not be seen, because what if we notice her body? And as she was talking to me, I said to her, like, oh my God, you have anxiety about your body image. And she was like, no, it's not anxiety. And then she started thinking about it, like, oh my God, it is an anxiety. And so that was like, I want to bring that awareness to all of us, that this is a type of anxiety, and we'll dive into how to treat that. And then the second person is a new person to me who just took my detox de mine. I am just getting to know her. She's a beautiful soul. You can tell she's so beautiful in every expression of herself. You know, the kind of people that you just meet and you're like, oh my God, you're so kind and beautiful and all things. And she was also telling me how she's already freaking out about the summer because she's likely not going to do the things that she loves doing most, like swimming. That she's likely going to stay at home a lot of the time because she doesn't want to be seen. And holy fuck, you ladies, why? Why do we have to deprive ourselves from being this happy now? Because we've got this anxiety about who we are and what we look like. And so I was highly motivated to do something about that. And as I was saying to some of you recently, I feel like I have this realization often, but each time it's the first time I have it, which is life is short. We are here not for a long time, but for a good time. And I really want it to be a good time for as many people as possible. And when I think of the amount of time we spend in worry about judgment, for example, when we think of the amount of time that we spend criticizing ourselves to the point that we discourage ourselves from living and showing up to our lives the happiest that we can be, to me, that's a tragedy. That is worse. Like, that is an undiagnosed condition that really takes away life from our moments. And so I'm really inspired to, hopefully through this workshop, just help you think differently. And so that is exactly what we're here for. We're here to explore tools and thoughts that would allow you to break free from the mental drama about your body image. So just out of an exercise, I want everybody, if you've got a phone near you, I want you to grab your phone and I want you to open up your camera and turn it towards you. And I want you to take a look at yourself and notice the thoughts that show up. What are the things you're saying? Notice that you're going to fix something immediately. And I want you to I want you to observe your thoughts. So stay in that image for a second. And just notice the thoughts you're having about what you look like. Okay, put that phone down, and then I want you to write them down. And just notice, I don't want you to tell me what you noticed. What did you say about this notice? I look so tired. Oh, Louise, I'm beautiful. I love that one. Yuck, I'm so pale, need color my hair as soon as possible. Freak, I'm old. I have a double chin. I am fat. Oh man, these are good. Okay. I had one of my eyes doesn't look great. My hair looks flat. My wrinkles make me look old. All right. And you were sort of kind, because God knows we can be really freaking mean to ourselves. So we just took a look and we were like, not too bad, because we may have had a thought that said, she might want us to say what we're thinking. And so we sort of screen our thoughts. I don't feel like I glow anymore. Rebecca. Okay. Why do you think it's important to become aware of what our first thoughts are about our image? Because 90% of us, unless you're doing this type of work with me, walk away thinking that every single one of our thoughts must be the truth. But we can have very inaccurate thoughts about ourselves. In fact, if I ask you guys to just go into separate rooms in pairs and to look at the person in front of the screen, what will be the first thing you notice about that person? So the difference here is that we jump at the beauty in others. That's our nature. When it's outside of ourselves, we're like, oh my God, what good can I say about this person? What good can I see in this person? Both earrings and shirt are from Anthropology, my favorite store, for those who are asking. Okay, so when we have a vision of somebody else, we tend to be more kind. I think we all know we're our worst enemies. But when it comes to ourselves, we are unapologetic about being the most terrorist that we can possibly be. Oh, I like Olga Lacroix showed up. So I want us to reflect on that. Our first impression of our image tends to be mean, but when we look at another person, we just look for the pretty and the kind in it. Why is that? Why is it that when it comes to ourselves, we're so self-critical, we cannot see the part that is okay, except for some of us who saw that image and like immediately saw our self-love? I'll tell you why. We've normalized internally having an inner conversation that is unsafe, that make us feel unsafe. We are normally in this unsafe arena with ourselves. And we've normalized that. And yet we're desperately looking for safety. And where do we look for safety, people? Outside of ourselves. Can somebody please give me a compliment? So we might go in front of our husband. So what do you think of this shirt? From 1 to 10, how do I look? Do I look good? How do I look? And he might say 10. And I'm like, you're lying. Of course you say 10 because you're my husband. No, seriously, tell me. Like, I'm really hoping for him to say a lower number. But if he did, he'll be in trouble, right? So he couldn't really tell me. What are we after? We're after somebody else to make us feel safe, being who we already are. This is why I know body image is a type of anxiety. So I want to review together what anxiety is. If you notice, I call this work, this lunch and learn, letting go of the anxiety around body image. We all have it. And I have a whole explanation as to why we have it. But let's first just explore what's the anxious mind. And by the way, like fear of judgment by others, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being evaluated accordingly. It's all anxiety. You can call all of that fear anxiety. It is anxiety driven. And the purpose of anxiety is to make us feel safe. So why we all feel anxious, why we have that ability to feel anxious is so that if we are truly in an unsafe scenario, our minds can just signal to the body like emergency, run. So if a bear was following me, I would then feel anxiety so that then I would run a mile or two and be far from that bear. That's the purpose of anxiety. So anxiety is intended in our DNA to be there to let us know we are not safe, so that we can do something about it. What is currently happening to you and to me is that we've created a very toxic, unsafe inner conversation, inner relationship that is not safe. And so anxiety goes off saying like, the way you're thinking isn't safe. So do something about it. And what we're engaging in doing is what? A diet, exercise, criticizing, manipulating life so that we can look different. So the brain thinks, oh, you're doing something about this unsafe place. So I'm going to give you the most unpopular advice, but the best one I've received. And I've changed so much. I am not in any stretch like mastering body image anxiety, but I am so much better than I ever was. Because I decided that I was no longer going to contribute to the unsafetyness internally. I decided that I was going to be the person who brought safety to me, that I could have an inner dialogue that would make me feel safe wearing my bikini, with a massive scar on my belly, with a belly that looks like it's smiling sideways because I've had abdominal surgeries, and feel free of fear of being judged. I made that decision. Nobody made it for me. I had loving humans in my life that were always saying, like, nobody cares you have a scar. Wear whatever you want to wear. And I wouldn't believe that. You know what used to be my thought about wearing a bikini and showing my scar to the planet? Poor people. Why would I do that to them? They don't need to see this. Like, I was harming their vision if they saw me. So when you're not feeling safe, your brain has a purpose, which is to bring you back to safety. So we start thinking, what will be safety? Well, don't wear a bikini. Don't wear that bathing. Oh, that shirt shows your arms? That's not safe. You're going to go see your aunt you haven't seen in 2 years? That's not safe. She's definitely going to tell you that you've gained weight, and then you're going to feel broken and shame. And so don't do that. So we begin to not go places. We begin to not wear clothes that we like. We begin to not engage in things that we love doing because we don't feel safe. It's just a few of us that have gotten comments from the outside world saying that we are not safe being who we are. The majority of us have never heard it from the outside world. It's just in our head. So I want us to do an exercise, but first I'll tell you because I did it. And I actually did it just before this workshop. So I had like fresh thoughts in my head. I sat down and I wrote my thoughts about my body image as it is right now. Okay. And I wrote a few, so I'm going to read them to you because I don't mind. I can be better. It has a lot of imperfections. My butt is full of cellulite, and cellulite is ugly. Therefore, I've got ugly parts in my body. It does not show the work I do. So I exercise every day. And that's one of the thoughts I have. Like, it does not show the work I do. And I used to look better, and it is not where I want it to be. Now, this thoughts that came up into my head the moment I asked myself, hey, what are your thoughts about your current body image? Were this? And I've done a lot of work on loving myself and changing the inner conversation. So these are actually so much better than what I used to think. I want you to become aware of those inner thoughts you have immediately, okay? Because the sooner you realize how unsafe you're making it for yourself, the easier it is to make the shift that I absolutely want you to make, that I'm sure you want to make, which is why you're here. So I want you to grab a pen and a paper, and I want you to answer to the same question. What are my thoughts about my current body image? By the way, if you want to share in chat, you can, but you don't have to. So be as honest as you want with yourself. There is no right or wrong answer. There is only creating awareness. So I'm going to assume that most of you already grabbed some of your initial thoughts about your body image. All right. So how many of you are currently hoping to lose weight or change the way you look? So we're all on a journey to losing weight, or the majority of us are. And if you're not thinking of losing weight, are you thinking of like becoming more muscular or fit or something like that? And then I want you guys to write this down, okay? You have to write it down. You don't have to tell it to me, but you have to write it down. If I was to lose weight or look fit or have the dream body, I would feel, write down the feelings you think you would have. Powerful, confident, energized, happy, excited, confident, light, comfortable, not worried. I will read you mine. Mine says happy, confident, sexy, loved. You know which one caught my attention, shocked me? Loved. I would feel loved if I had a body that looked differently. Sexy, yes. I think many of us would like that. Confident, better, desirable, same as sexy, yes. More self-esteem. Yeah, Miriam, you wrote love too. That one actually made me sigh. I'm like, what the thought? I would think. So here's what I want you to do, ladies. Those words that you wrote down, those feelings that you wrote down about having this ideal body are going to become your new goals. That is what you're after. You're after feeling this way. Diet culture, which is, by the way, culture, losing weight culture is a multi-billion industry in our culture. So they count on us feeling like we've got to lose weight. So we keep feeding the industry. And so I want you to think of this. We are a product of our environment, clearly. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. But I want you to consider this. Perhaps it's less about looking a certain way and more about growing our happiness, our confidence, our sexiness, our sense of self-love, our mental calmness, peacefulness. I want to assure you that you can restrict yourself from eating, exercise, get to a certain body weight, look in a certain way. And if you are not confident, sexy, self-loved, happy, that newness, the novelty of this body will last very little before these feelings show up again. What you are after are feelings. Isn't that like a beautiful awareness? What we're actually after are having feelings for ourselves. We're like, I just want people to see me as sexy or as happy. No, you want you to have that feeling inside of you, which is what you definitely look for outside of you. Whether you are aware that you're looking for it outside of you or not, you are. If you lack it inside, if you lack the awareness that that's what you truly are after. Think of why you don't stick to the diet or the exercise or the personal trainer or the thing that you said to yourself, it's going to be very important because I really want to be healthy and I'm going to lose the weight. And then you just go off. Because you're not actually after that size and that look, you're actually after the feelings. And so when we're not working on creating the feelings, we get distracted easily. We're not actually working at the thing that is missing in our heart, in our relationship with our body. So what do I mean by creating these feelings as your new goals? We have misplaced safety in changing our body image. So we think safety will come when the body changes. But as I was previously saying, safety comes from the way you talk to yourself. Anxiety, it's like an alarm going off in your body to tell you the way you're thinking isn't good. Come back. Let's start all over again. Think again. That thought gave you anxiety. That means your alarm system is saying like, not a good thought for us. We have wrongly told ourselves that those feelings will arrive when we look a certain way. I can think back, like I was looking at a photo of myself 8 years ago, the smallest I've ever been, the most muscular I've ever been. And I remember having the same thoughts I have about my body today, identical. Not where I wanted to be. I wish I was more fit. I still have cellulite on my butt. That it doesn't show the work that I'm doing. Exactly. And if we don't stop the monster will continue at any size, at any way we look, because we haven't actually addressed the real issue that we're lacking some emotions from ourselves to ourselves. So what are we really after? Safety. Remember that. You're actually looking for a safe place to be. You. And the only person who's removed that safety is yourself. And I know you're probably going to tell me, no, but somebody else made this comment about me. And so that's why I don't feel safe. Yes, but you told yourself something about that thing that somebody else said that makes you feel unsafe. Ultimately, it's all in your hands. And this is good news, because if it's the problem's in our hands, we can solve it ourselves. So what if you begin to ask yourself things like, would joining the gym increase my confidence? Instead of, would joining the gym will help me change the way I look? Right? Like, so I want you to think of those goals that you wrote down that I said are now your goals, your emotions that you're after. Will attending the gym increase my self-love? Would doing this diet increase my self-esteem? Make me feel powerful? Because most of us are engaging in these behaviors from a place of, I lack something, scarcity. I'll talk about this in the money workshop because it's the same concept. When we operate from a place of fear and scarcity, you won't stay in that task for a long time because it's not love driven. So to create sustainability, you have to look at it differently. I have been a yo-yo with exercise. I used to run and then I stopped running. I used to do like super consistently going to the gym and then I hated it. Like, I'll do it and then I won't. And then I'm like, this is just me. I like laying in bed and doing nothing. And then that doesn't make me happy either. I realized that what I was after was changing who I was, the way I looked, and that was not attractive for me for a long period of time. I didn't like that feeling. But when I shifted to become powerful, when I realized exercising was like the most effective way of keeping my mental health at bay, you don't see me using a workout that, and if I do, because it is the best day for me, right, that day to rest, guilt-free. I am no longer exercising to lose weight, to look fit. No, my biggest, greatest passion right now is to live a long life in good health, not just barely making it. I want to play with my grandchildren. And that has fueled me to the things that I do. So I want you to sort of change the purpose of why you do what you do so that it becomes based on the emotions that you want to feel. If you want to feel confident and all you're telling yourself is like, you better exercise or else you're not going to be attractive for summer, I promise you won't there too long. You're not actually growing your self-love, your self-confidence. When you ask yourself, would joining the gym increase my confidence, or joining the gym will help me change the way I look and finally I will become confident? One approach feels safer than the other. And I always want you to ask yourself, what will be the safest approach for me to take? What will make me feel safe? Like, this is fun. My peer, Julie O'Mackler, who is an intuitive eating coach, always says, will you be doing this exercise if your focus wasn't in changing the way you look? Some of you will stop running if you hate running and you're like doing it because you think that's the thing. How many people have gotten this bike, what is it called? Peloton. And they've never even tried ever spinning class before. They might even hate it. But hey, it's supposed to help me lose weight. So I'm just going to do this one thing. And then 2 months after, because I've seen it happen, my coaching calls, I haven't used the bike in like 3 months. Because the motivation to use the bike was to lose weight, was not to engage in an activity that they absolutely love doing. Like, I sincerely love running. When I run out of joy, not because I've got to or else. So anxiety diminishes with 4 concepts. And because this is a type of anxiety, I want you to really think of these 4 concepts as you engage in a new relationship with your body image. 4 words, 4 concepts: trust, acceptance, love, respect. Trust, acceptance, love, respect. I would like you to imagine the scenario in which you are in a relationship with somebody who does not trust you, who does not accept you, who does not love you, and does not respect you. How fun would it be to be in that relationship? How healthy would it be to be in that relationship? Hey, I bet all of us would exit that relationship. Maybe we were in that relationship before and we're like, never again. They're basic 4 concepts that we need for a relationship to be healthy and lasting. And I bet you anything, if I was to look at you as the kind of wife or mom or daughter or friend that you are, you will say you're trusting, accepting of your friends, loving, and respectful. And yet, if we look at your relationship with body image, you're lacking all 4 of those. 1, we never trust our body. We look at our body, we're like, this is not the way you're supposed to be looking. This is not the weight you're supposed to be at. We don't trust that our body's doing the thing that it's supposed to do, supporting us. We certainly don't accept it. And my example was real. Like, when I was a different size, a different body build, I still didn't accept that body as good enough. Loving. We just saw how we spoke to ourselves, the first image we saw. We are not loving with ourselves. We aren't. We haven't said, how can I be the most loving, respectful, accepting, trusting human, with me, as it relates to my image. So we want to look this way to feel sexy, to feel confident, to have self-esteem, to feel loved. But how much thought have we given to, hey, maybe it's the other way around. When I feel sexy, confident, and loved, that's going to show up through my existence. We see the world as we are, not as it is. So if you show me a photo of you, I'm going to be like, oh my God, you look so great in that dress. And all you can see is all the parts that didn't look great on that dress. I had a mentor who once said to me, you want to know how if you think you're not selfish, think of the last time that there was a group photo and you zoomed on the photo to look only for one person. Who was that? It wasn't your mom, it was you. You just want to make sure we judge the photo, good or bad, based on how we look. Oh God, I've kept family photos where nobody has their eyes open, but because I look great. That was a great photo. Thank you. So those are the 4 ingredients that are really missing in our relationship with our body image. And we can ignore it and say, okay, whatever, I'm going to keep struggling and thinking the way I think and not give myself those ingredients. Or you can be different from today on and recognize, shit, why am I cultivating a really toxic relationship I wouldn't want to be in, but I am creating it for myself? Think of all the things you've ever said and you have done to lose weight. I promise you, some may have even been self-harming. All because we are in this toxic relationship where we don't see our worth, our own worth. I always think of where my thoughts come from. I'm very curious about that because, well, one, I am a mindset coach. What is mindset, by the way? Mindset are set of thoughts, patterns of thoughts that we create as our default way of thinking. And so we sometimes convince ourselves that that's the way it is, and we can't think the way we think. We can't change the way we think, but you can. This is why I love what I do, to demonstrate to people that you can change the way you think. So I like to kind of do some self-reflection to think, where are my thoughts coming from? And normally they always go back to one belief, either a great belief or a limiting belief. In my years of coaching, I have noticed that the majority of the women who have issues about body image believe this one belief that limits their ability to have a better relationship with self. Because of this belief, maybe you will not wear a bikini, not think you're worthy of shopping, maybe not feel attractive, maybe jump in all these diets and do all the things. And that belief is, I am not enough. That's at the core. And because we truly believe we're not enough, we have a lot of thoughts that support that belief. You should go to the gym to become enough. You should do a diet to become enough. If you don't wear that, that's not for you. Like I was saying, we live in a society where the biggest, most profitable of industries, one off, is weight loss. So they're counting on us to continue to believe that we're not good enough. So we continue to spend hundreds of dollars on supplements that help you lose weight, on the next exercise machine that helps you lose weight. I'm all about empowering women. I'm all about becoming the most empowered version of myself. And I want to invite you today to stand against that industry, to stand against the part of our society that is making us feel slave of not being good enough. I am pro-health. I am pro-movement. I am pro-nourishing my body and my mind in all the ways. I invest in myself. But I am not here to continue to lead women to feeling like they're not good enough by being that person. Each of us have such a powerful way of influencing our environment. So each day that you're choosing to not go do something you love because of the way you look, you're promoting more of that thought in our world. Fuck that. Let's be let's be the girl that's like, You don't need to look a certain way to be happy and confident. You can grow your confidence and wear whatever makes your heart happy. Like if you were already the most confident, sexy, self-loving version of yourself, powerful version of yourself, will you be thinking twice about wearing that dress? Or whether or not you should go to that social reunion because of the way you look? You can choose today that you are going to act and behave like the most empowered, confident, sexy, beautiful version of yourself. It's a choice. You're choosing every day the opposite, and it's not giving you the results you want. Let's, as a community of women, say like we stand against the perception that we gotta be a certain size, certain body weight to be enough, to be attractive. So to conquer this anxiety of body image, you have to realize that it's less about becoming and more about coming home to who you are. In trusting that you are already where you need to be in a loving, respectful way. This isn't science, this isn't magic. I'm not here to teach you something impossible, but I am here to tell you that you are able to choose differently. And I urge you to do that because other women are looking at you. Because you are a role model for other women out there and men who are constantly worried about what they look like to be worthy. Embracing ourselves is not a matter of I will once this happens. Is not conditional. We can choose to love ourselves unconditionally today and think the world is better because we're doing that. Yeah, all those thoughts, Genevieve, like it's not fair that I've got this body and this metabolism that I got and that I've got the genes, like, my aunts have lots of cellulite on their legs. I'm like, oh, that's not fair. Why couldn't I get better genetics? Those thoughts come back to the belief I'm not good enough. So by changing our belief, by deciding that we are going to grow our belief that I am already enough, I am whole, I am complete, I am powerful, I am sexy, I am beautiful, those thoughts will vanish. Let weight loss be a byproduct of you trusting and accepting and loving your way, the way your body is. Let it be a natural occurrence that shows up into your life because you've been the most loving. So, for example, when you say, I feel fat, may I remind you, fat is not a feeling. So that inner conversation becomes very important. I feel sad, frustrated, happy, unhappy, all like there's emotions. I can give you all the list of emotions. Fat isn't one. So when you catch yourself saying things like, I feel fat, oh, I use this one all the time. I feel like a pig. Pig is also not a feeling. How many of us catch ourselves saying like, oh my God, look, last night I was at a supper with only girls. And the girl next to me is like, oh my God, you're going to see me finish all my plates. I never do this. I'm going to finish, but I was so hungry. But it was so that, like explaining to me when she's eating her whole plate. I'm like, I don't need to hear why you're eating your, are you enjoying your food? Great. Does that make you happy? Eat your food. So I feel like a pig, I feel fat. Those are not feelings, but I would urge you to kind of explore what you're feeling. So for some of you who don't know me, I am celiac. When I eat gluten, I feel all the feelings from anxiety to heaviness to bloatiness. My body transforms. I feel really uncomfortable. And while I could say I am fat because I just ate this hamburger, I now correct myself. And I said, I feel sad. I feel uncomfortable because I ate something that does not nourish my body. Because that hamburger had probably gluten, and gluten just makes my body feel unwell. When you begin to do that, when you actually call it what it is, I am feeling this way because I ate that, or that hamburger had quinoa and quinoa freaking kills me. Like what I'm feeling is gas in my body because I ate quinoa and quinoa creates gas in my body. I can't digest it. The feeling is different. You're not self-blaming and shaming yourself. So I want you to label feelings for what they are. You don't feel fat. You feel a feeling. because of something. Language matters. The way we talk inside our head, that conversation that nobody hears, is the most important conversation that you will have all day and every day. Because your body is listening, your emotional well-being is listening. So what we're so preoccupied with what others tell us and what they're going to say, we freaking ignore the most important conversation of them all. The one that nobody's listening. So you can just right away being completely mean. I call it a terrorist. There's a terrorist that lives inside of me that just wants to make me so afraid of existing. Why? So mindset is a set of thoughts that we default to. We all have a mindset, and it could be AM or FM. And AM gives you feelings and behaviors, and FM gives you different feelings and different behaviors. It takes the same amount of work. Some of my clients tell me, oh my God, it's so much work to switch mindsets. Same amount of work. The results are very different. And we always choose the one that is difficult and gives us the results that we don't want. I don't know why, but we choose the most difficult pathway. So if you're afraid of hard work, just know that nothing is going to be harder than what you're currently living with your own relationship of mindset. Of body image. So if your current mindset is set on not loving or not being respectful or trusting, on setting restrictions and conditions, I encourage you to open up your mindset to be changed. Our brains can be adjusted and rewired. That is my specialty. I specialize in helping people rewire their brain. And when I say rewire, my coach always says, like, do you think people understand what you mean? I'm like, I don't know, but I can't really describe it any other way. I just break some connections that are not useful, and I create new ones that are helpful, that are going to give them the results that they want. And you know what? I succeed at doing that because I believe in this so strongly that my clients begin to believe in it as well. I always say my job is to hold hope for those who don't have it yet, to make that connection, that their brain can change. You might think this is an impossible. I've always struggled with with body image. This is not going to change. Keep thinking that way, and you keep seeing the same results. If you want to see different results, this is your chance to do something about it, something different. Personally, I want you to create awareness of where your mindset is at and whether or not it's helping you in feeling the way that you want to feel. I want you to move and make changes with intuition, with love, with reassurance, with a mindset that you choose, not the one that you've got. Because life isn't about letting it be led by our thoughts, the thoughts we have, but rather using our mental power to live the life of our dreams, not our fears, which most of us are living the life of our fears. Again, stand against that. Let's not. So you can keep doing exactly what you're doing and getting the same results, or you can decide that today is a different day. And from a place of I am enough, I get to make my choices, make an empowered decision for yourself that this relationship, the way it is, isn't serving you and isn't serving our planet. The more women, the more we all think this way, the more we normalize this for other generations and other people outside. So I want each of you to think of, I am a leader of my family, of my community, of other women who are looking at me. And how am I portraying this? What am I teaching them? What is the legacy? Thank you, everybody, for listening. I will see you guys next Monday. Many of my clients have. I want you to come on February 20th to the 24th to Detox the Mind, because, as you know, it's my life coaching program that happens only for a week. It's a workshop. And normally it's very specific to detoxify the brain from comparison, from anxiety, from the mean inner voice. But because the subject of anxiety has come up so much lately, I've decided to dedicate February's Detox the Mind specifically to anxiety. So if you're somebody who thinks a lot, maybe you wouldn't qualify yourself as an anxious person, but somebody who has a million little worries, this is for you. Come join me February 20th to the 24th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It is the last time I'm offering this for $27. It is the last time I'm recording all the calls. So if you cannot be there at 11, don't worry. We're going to email you the recording.
But this is the last time you can catch it at this price, and that you can catch recording as part of your initial cost. If you want to end the anxiety or get yourself started on that, I want to help you do that. So join me. Men and women, you're all welcome to come into Detox the Mind that starts February 20th to the 24th. See you in there.